I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to tell you is the kind of story that changes the way you see the people closest to you. I stood at the altar on a perfect Saturday in June. Nothing felt different. I was the happiest man alive. But by the time the reception ended that night, everything I thought I knew about my wife and my future was gone. And what I found out next, most people can't even bring themselves to say out loud. Before we go deeper into this story, take a second and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like and let us know where you're watching from. I'm curious to know how far these stories travel. Welcome to Family Secrets and Revenge. To the outside world, Clara and I were the it couple of Oak Haven, Connecticut. I'm Julian, a structural engineer who likes things stable and built to last. Clara was a high-end interior designer, elegant, meticulous, and seemingly devoted. We had dated for 3 years, and every moment felt like a scene from a movie. I thought I had found the one person who truly understood my soul. Our wedding at the Briarwood estate was supposed to be the crowning achievement of our love story. The ceremony was breathtaking. The scent of white peonies filled the air, and as Clara walked down the aisle in a vintage lace gown, I felt a lump in my throat. We exchanged vows that promised, "Till death do us part," and honesty above all. Looking back, the irony of those words is a bitter pill to swallow. Everyone was there, our families, our best friends, and Clara's business partner, Marcus, who had helped her build her firm from the ground up. And the reception was a blur of champagne toasts and laughter. But as the night wore on, I noticed a shift. Clara seemed distracted. She kept checking her phone, tucked away in her silk clutch. I dismissed it as wedding day jitters, or perhaps last-minute coordination issue with the catering. But then I saw her whispering in the corner with her sister Elena. Their faces weren't filled with bridal joy. They looked terrified. Around 11 p.m., as the band played the final set, Clara disappeared. I checked the bridal suite, the powder room, and even the gardens. I found Elena by the bar, her hands shaking as she held a glass of gin. When I asked where Clara was, she wouldn't look me in the eye. "She just needed some air, Julian. Give her a minute," she whispered. Something in her voice told me that air was the last thing Clara was looking for. I headed back to our private suite, thinking maybe she had gone up to change out of her heavy dress. The room was empty, lit only by the moonlight filtering through the curtains. That's when I heard it, a persistent buzzing. Clara had left her personal phone on the vanity. It wasn't her work phone. It was a secondary device I didn't even know she carried. I shouldn't have looked. But in a marriage, there shouldn't be secrets, right? The screen was lit up with notifications from a contact saved only as M. The messages were graphic, heart-wrenching, and undeniable. "I can't believe you actually went through with it," the last one read. "Meet me at the old Boathouse in 10 minutes. I can't let you spend the night with him." My heart didn't just break. It was shattered into a million jagged pieces. I felt a cold, numb sensation wash over me. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I simply walked out of the suite and headed toward the estate's lakefront. The Boathouse was a secluded spot, half a mile from the main house. As I walked through the woods in my tuxedo, the chirping of crickets sounded like a mocking laugh. I approached the Boathouse silently. The door was slightly ajar. Inside, I heard voices, familiar voices. It was Clara and Marcus, my best man, my wife's business partner, the man who had stood beside me at the altar only hours ago, smiling as I placed the ring on Clara's finger. "We have to tell him, Marcus," Clara was sobbing. "I can't go to the hotel with him tonight. I feel like I'm suffocating." Marcus's response was even worse. "We had a plan, Clara. The marriage secures the merger. Once the contracts are signed in 6 months, you file for divorce, and we walk away with the Hilton account and his family's land stake. Just hold it together for one night." Before we continue, take a second and share your thoughts so far on this story below. I read every single one. I pushed the door open. The sound of the wood scraping against the stone floor was like a gunshot. They both froze. Clara's mascara was smeared down her cheeks, and Marcus had his hands on her shoulders. The perfect bride looked like a stranger to me. "The family land stake?" I asked, my voice terrifyingly calm. "Is that all I was to you? A signature on a merger?" Clara tried to run to me, her white dress catching on a stray nail in the floorboard. "Julian, it's not what it sounds like." I love you. I got scared. I looked at Marcus, the man I'd known since college. He didn't even have the decency to look ashamed. He just adjusted his tie and said, "It was just business, Julian. Don't make it personal." I realized then that they thought they had won. They thought I was the weak, emotional husband who would roll over. But I'm an engineer. I know how to find the structural flaw in any foundation. "You're right, Marcus," I said. "It is business. And as of 5 minutes ago, I've recorded this entire conversation on my phone." Their faces went pale. I told them exactly what was going to happen. I wasn't going to cause a scene at the wedding. I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of a public meltdown. Instead, I walked back to the reception, took the microphone from the DJ, and thanked everyone for coming. When I announced that Clara and Marcus had a special announcement regarding their business partnership and invited everyone to check their emails in the morning. That night, I didn't go to the honeymoon suite. I went to my lawyer's office. By 8 a.m. the next day, every investor in the Hilton merger, every member of our families, and the entire Oak Haven social circle had received a digital file. It contained the recording of the Boathouse confession and copies of the secret bank accounts Marcus had been using to funnel Clara's consulting fees. Clara lost her firm. Marcus faced a massive fraud investigation. But the twist? My father, who they thought owned the land stake they were after, had actually transferred it to a blind trust years ago. I didn't even have the power to give it to them if I wanted to. Ooh, they had sold their souls for a prize that didn't exist. Before we go deeper, I would love to hear your point of view. Tell me what part hit you the hardest in my story and share your thoughts in the comments. Standing in the ruins of my marriage, I realized that the shocker wasn't that she cheated. It was that I was strong enough to walk away without looking back. I lost a wife, but I gained my freedom and my self-respect. Life has a funny way of clearing out the trash when you least expect it. It took the worst night of my life to realize I was surrounded by snakes. But now, the grass is finally cut short. Thank you for listening to my story here on Family Secrets and Revenge. If this story moved you or made you hug your loved ones a little tighter tonight, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Don't forget to share your overall thoughts in the comments. I'll be there replying. Stay safe, and remember, not every smile at the altar is sincere. See you in the next one.